learners, and welcome to OnlyIAS UPSC. So finally the moment has arrived when for the very first time we are launching our first English YouTube channel, which is OnlyIAS UPSC English Medium. So hi, Abhishek Shrivastava and I teach history and culture, and today I have my amazing friends over here, my amazing colleagues. So let me introduce the panel to you, and then we'll talk about the channel more. So first of all, we have Ajay Shrivastava sir, who teaches Indian polity. We have Ayush Sanghi sir, who teaches Indian economy. We have Siddharth sir, who teaches science and tech. Then we have Nikhil Ram sir, he teaches public administration optional. Then we have Siddharth Shishodia sir, who teaches ethics and integrity. Then we have our own Harpreet sir, who teaches anthropology and current affairs. I'm really sorry. So we also have our esteemed faculty Ritesh Jaiswal sir, who teaches science and technology. So by the way, we had a lot of requests for the content that we need content in English. Currently, we were more into English and Hindi content. So there were a lot of comments from the learners, there were a lot of requests from the learners that we need a channel which is purely in English medium, which will definitely be helpful to the learners who are basically from South India, or they are from Northeast, or the one who want to prepare, or who want to have a dedicated preparation in English medium, who are going to appear into examination in English medium, and they need help. They want content should be purely in English. So currently our sites and all were there in English medium, and students used to refer those sites, but somewhere they were not able to get benefit from the pedagogy of the teachers or from the experience of the teachers, because they were not able to understand what is being taught in the class. But now in this channel, definitely, because this channel is a channel where every video, the whole content will be purely in English medium. So definitely all these learners will be benefited a lot from this, and you'll be able to crack UPSC in English medium, and you'll be able to get benefit from the experience and pedagogy of the teachers. So let's start our discussion. Let's not keep our panel waiting. So let's start the discussion. So for the first question is, this question goes to Nikhil sir. So Nikhil sir, some of our students are from Northeast or Southern India, and because you are also from South India, so I understand that you relate to it. So, and we have been receiving concerns that they like our content, but as the communication is in Hindi or English language, they only have PPTs to refer for the concepts. Now, as we are launching our English YouTube channel, how will this be helpful for such students?
Thank you so much, sir, for having me here. So basically, what I have observed is, again, we all have our official Telegram channels also. From the interactions with many of our students, they've always told that, sir, we want the content only in English. And this could be something as simple as current affairs video also, because we have our videos, very good videos. We have superbly quality videos which delivers UPSC oriented content, but in the English language or only in Hindi. So many of our students, and I've seen this, it is not just with South India or Northeast alone, even our North Indian crowds, they sometimes want it only in English because of the medium that they are writing it in. So this channel is exactly like a prayer. The prayer has been answered for all those students who have been waiting with the bated breath, like when will we launch it? So finally, it is going to be beneficial for all our students, I believe, across India. Because not that people don't take up Hindi or something, or they are not comfortable with it, but especially when you're writing your answers in English, people would prefer that the channel is also in English, the content is also delivered in English, number one. Number two, the other aspect is, with our team of faculties that we have here, they are literally getting a one-stop solution for all their UPSC queries. They need not go behind multiple channels or multiple sources. That is what I feel.
Do you believe that there is lack of quality content available in English right now on YouTube?
Two things I feel. Lack of quality, yes. The second thing is, I would describe the situation with an adage. We are drowning in information while we are starving for wisdom. And this is something this generation of our students are facing. There are too many sources, too many channels. They get drowned in it, and it's like Alice went inside a rabbit hole, and then she doesn't know why she went into it in the first place. She goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, but then she is like, finally, she doesn't know anything about it. So you need a channel which will deliver the content in crisp format, what is required to crack UPSC. You don't have to be an expert in any subject. You only need to crack the exam, go to Lavasana, and drink your coffee or tea from that overrated teacup. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Nikhil sir. So my second question is to Siddharth sir. As nowadays some of the Hindi medium students are opting English, we have observed that a lot of learners now believe that it is better to attend the examination in English medium, right? So now what is happening as a language medium? So what is happening? They are facing issues in their performances as their marks are not improving now, because somewhere their background is Hindi and now they have opted for English or maybe some other language but now opted to English. So they are facing issues with their score. They're not able to increase their score. So how will our dedicated English YouTube channel help them in this?
I think, sir, this is something which is already there in the minds of the students who are watching this. This is something that you have asked. You've pinpointed that bit which they are actually looking forward what we are going to do. So good evening to all the students who are watching us. Good evening to all my colleague members. And Abhishek sir, telling you very frankly, after teaching so many students in English particularly, I have realized they are struggling in writing answers. They are particularly struggling in English expression. They are doing mistakes in literally in tenses, punctuations. They are doing those mistakes. But when you talk to them, they know the answer. So the reality is what they're thinking, they are not able to pen down it in simple words in English. And I think many students, they are from Hindi background, they want to do the exam in English, maybe this is the reason. Or as you said, that they have done their education in English, but since they are maybe from the states where Hindi is much more popular, or they have taken English batches. So my opinion here is that let's have this discussion in English, proper English only, so that whatever you study, whatever you learn, whatever there are terminologies, correlation between the terminologies, examples that we are citing, if you are continuously watching everything in English particular, your subconscious mind will be able to reciprocate the same in the answer writing. And this is the main idea that we are launching this particular channel.
Okay, great sir.
I would like to add something to
Yeah, sure, sir, please go ahead.
that, sir. So basically, I would say it a problem that when we have to express something, we think in Hindi and we write in English.
Absolutely,
Correct.
sir.
That is
Absolutely
where
correct.
the gap is. So when you study in English, listen to it in English, you start developing a habit of thinking in English. When you think in English and reproduce in English,
So
then
true.
that gap would be solved.
So true.
So just to add one more point there, it is one that what's both the faculties have told is like spot on. And the other thing what I feel is they have this fear that you need to put Oxford level English there. Now somebody coming from South India, like I talked with somebody from UP today. So as soon as he heard my Hindi, he asked me whether I'm from Tamil Nadu or whether I'm from Kerala. So I wanted to tell him, and I actually told him also that I speak 3 languages in Malayalam. Whichever language I speak, it will always sound Malayalam, but it will sound South Indian. It is fine. It is absolutely fine. You need not have high level of English knowledge. Whatever is being used in a daily life, or whatever is being used by the concerned faculties in the YouTube channel, put it down in simple words. Job is done. I think this channel is an answer for that.
And especially when we have discussion in English in these YouTube videos, this will create a foundation for the learners. From there they can grow, right? They can learn more vocabulary, they can improve their vocabulary or other things, but at least a foundation will be set. Otherwise, if they're studying in Hindi or English basically, that foundation is missing. They have to start from 0 to 1. But when the video or the content is already in English, they won't have to start from 0. There will be some foundation at least from where they can build up. Okay, so my next question is to Ajay sir. Sir, some of the English medium students prefer watching lectures in English medium. So is it necessary that English medium students should watch lectures in English medium only?
Thank you so much for putting up this question, because I really like this question and I address this question first and foremost when I enter the class. Generally, you see that students, they have a lot of expectation that the classes should become easier for them, right, to comprehend. And this is how they're expecting the lectures to be in English. And their reality check that needs to be put to the students right in the beginning, that After all, until unless you are going to improve your language, right, you will not be able to comprehend things. You will not be able to understand things. And basically, when you are expecting that, you know, the lectures, the content is going to be in Hindi or English, then generally you are deferring your challenges, nothing else. You are not facing it right there itself. When you know that without improving the language to a certain decent level, you cannot deliver, especially in the mains. And I would say that even for prelims also language is important. There are areas where the language expressions only will make your concepts clear. So until and unless you are empowering yourself in the beginning, right, in the English right from the beginning, or whatever language you are addressing or you are writing the exam, till then I think you basically are deferring and you are increasing your challenges for future. You are not addressing it right there itself.
So you believe it is sacrosanct to learn from English medium only if you are going to appear into English
Yeah,
medium?
I would say that even if you may not be comfortable initially, but you should be open to the idea towards like how fast can you, you know, make a transition in your language, right? Try to grasp as much of content in English as much possible through different channels, whether you are doing the class, whether you are watching the videos, whether you are watching the news content or anything for that matter.
Okay, great. Anything you all want to add? Okay, great. Okay, so let's move on. So now we have a doubt from one of our student. So now we have a doubt from one of our students. So team, can we have the doubt on the screen, please? And Ayush sir, please, if you can take this doubt.
Hello, I am the student of PW OnlyIAS Titan batch. I am targeting for UPSC 2025 attempt. As I am a working professional, it is difficult for me to manage my time. I have to cover on a daily basis GS and optional classes. Plus there are current affairs and tests to be given. Thus, I want to know how I can manage my time so that I can do an effective study.
Ayush sir, please go ahead.
Yes, so it's a very pertinent doubt, I would say. Actually, this is the biggest question of every aspirant's life. How to manage time. Look, it's a tall order. When I say it's a tall order, it's because of the vast syllabus and the number of hours that you put in addition to the class time. So the challenge is not being able to complete the syllabus. The challenge is not being able to complete the syllabus on time. The first thing that I would like to tell all the aspirants who are watching this, please start on time, and that sweet spot is 12 months in advance of the examination, prelims examination. So if the prelims examination is in, let's say, May 2026, the ideal time to start the preparation is April 2025. That is where you would be able to cover the syllabus of general studies along with that optional, and wherever time permits, you would be able to revise current affairs, although current affairs has to be done on a daily basis. When I say that you have to do it on time, what I mean is that whenever you start preparing, let's say you have two classes going on. The first is general studies and the second is optional subject. So roughly you are spending around 5 hours in classes. In addition to that, you need at least 5 hours of self-study. And after that, your day would be exhausted. This schedule would continue for 4 months till the time you complete your optional subject. Trust me on this, these 3.5, 4 months would be hard or difficult. But as soon as it is complete, after that from the 5th month, you will be very comfortable, because then you would just have general studies and CSAT to cater to. So please make sure that those 4.5, 5 months you are working very, very hard, spending at least 5 hours on self-study after the classes, and thereafter you can increase the number of hours to 6 and even 7. A special advice for 2025 aspirants. This year we are already sitting in the month of September. Now it's almost September. September, October, November and December, these 4 months, spend time in completing your optional subject. Trust me, it will give you very good returns after the prelims examination in 2025.
Sir, yeah, thank you, sir. Just wanted to add few, or basically I would like request sir to add few things regarding optional preparation along with GS. You might be receiving a lot of queries with respect to that key, sir, we are not able to manage GS and optional together. So how you handle that, sir?
See, actually, the major problem that I see with the students is that they think that just listening to the lecture is enough. Now, as sir very rightly said, that you need to take out time for self-study. I always tell the students in the class, what I am doing or any other faculty is doing is merely 20% of the contribution that we are making in your success. Rest 80% is how you manage it. Like what students do is, like they said, we have, let us say, GS lectures we have seen or optional lectures we have seen, and that is it. Firstly, manage your time. If you are spending, let us say, 5 to 6 hours on the lectures you are seeing, then break it. For example, in the morning, I'm reading the newspapers or current affairs, then I'm attending the lectures, then I have to revise certain GS subjects, then the optional. Optional, like for example, if you don't revise it every day, you cannot complete it. So again, spending or giving adequate amount of time, that is very, very important every day.
Got it. Ritesh sir, would you like to add something on daily routine as sir had discussed?
One thing I would like to add, because it's a long journey. So, I mean, whatever time you decide, let's say self-study time, there should be a specific time for revision, right? Because many a time students have a tendency to learn new thing every day. But then if you don't revise it, then you are not carrying it forward, right? So you are basically doing nothing, but you are running on a treadmill, right? You are right on that spot only. The things that you have studied behind, that is left, and you are covering more and more. So it's like covering the entire distance and then carrying everything that you have studied so far. So revision schedule must be there, and you need to devise a way by which you can revise each and every part of the GS in a very scientific way, right? So that is one thing I would
One more thing I like to add, like students generally in the class ask us that we don't remember things. See, this thing happens with everybody. If you don't revise, you will not remember anything.
Exactly.
That is where making notes, revision, that thing becomes very, very important.
And sir, additionally, what you have just listened in the class, if you will revise it early, that means since things are fresh. So if you revise it early, let's say within a same day or maybe within 24 hours, you convert that temporary memory into permanent memory.
Yes, true.
But if you just give it a gap of 1 month and again you pick the subject, you might feel that you are learning it again for the first time.
As good as fresh.
Yeah, as good as fresh content. Yes.
Right words.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. So my next question is to Ritesh sir. Sir, some of the queries by students have concerned that the answers in UPSC CSE mains should be in flowery or enriched language. So people believe that you need to have some flowery language for writing mains answer. So is it actually the requirement?
Not at all. I mean, the language should be very simple. I mean, we need to understand the whole purpose of language. The purpose of language is to communicate, right? And if you are able to communicate in a simple way, then that is the best communication you can make. Moreover, in the UPSC main examination, you don't have time and space to showcase your writing ability. It's not like literature that you have to write a poetry out there, right? Because you hardly get 6 to 7 minutes to frame the entire answer. You get limited space, pages, limited word limit, and there you have to put each and everything. Now, if you look into the, nature of the question they're asking, it's not a single question. None of the question they're asking in the UPSC GS or any paper of the UPSC, it's not a single question. The question will have at least 2 to 3 portions, and for each portion you have to write 60, 70 words, that's it, right? So there is no scope of writing ornamental language, flowery language, any literature expertise that people have tendency to write in. One more thing I would like to say, the entire training that the student has gone through from their school time to college time is to showcase their writing ability. But here it's not about writing ability, it's about content. You are bang on the content in a point-wise manner, in a flowchart manner, in a table-like manner, and you are fulfilling the demand of the question, you are understanding the command of the question, then you are there. Otherwise,
one more thing I'd like to add, like the students misinterpret this, like we don't have to use jargons, that is fine, but they should be grammatically correct.
Yes, yes.
That is very, very important. If they aren't grammatically correct, then there's a bad impression in the mind of the examiner that the child does not know this, at least
Basic
this,
English.
yeah, basic English.
Particularly, sir, particularly in essay paper and ethics paper, I feel that in ethics paper also,
So grammatical
With
error, I
respect to
believe, is a
English.
turn off for anybody. If you are learning an article or an answer and you find grammatical error, spelling mistake, then it's a turn off. It's not like we cannot say that there is negative marking for it, of course. But then the image which goes into the mind of the reader is definitely like he understands you are not prepared enough.
I will share a technical thing. When you do grammatical mistake, there is no clear-cut marks deduction. But at the end of the calculation, what they do, they just deduct 2 marks or 3 marks.
Okay.
So out of total, they will deduct 2-3 marks to balance with the other student who have written the things grammatically correct. So that will be justified to them who has written the answer in a proper way and they written the answer in a proper grammatically correct way. So, I mean, 2 marks gone in one paper.
Exactly.
So it's a big
huge
deal.
loss.
It's big deal. It's a make or break kind of situation, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you,
And,
Ritesh sir.
one thing I'd like to add, the solution to that is, I mean, everyone makes grammatical errors, right? Even I do. So the best thing to do is to be able to comprehend articles from the newspapers. You read newspapers, especially the articles written by the editor, those 2 articles, those 2 golden articles, golden words written by the editor of the Hindu newspaper. If you are able to comprehend those articles well, those grammatical errors would automatically not happen and your grammar would start becoming or going towards perfection. You don't need perfection, you just need correctness. That's all. Yes.
One more thing I would like to point out that language, you see, it's like a very empowering tool, right? When it comes to comprehending things. We are learning something and we need to increase our speed because, you know, for UPSC you have to study so much, right? Absorb so much content. Until unless you have command over the language, your speed is not going to increase. You can read fast, you can comprehend fast, right? And in your mind, you can organize your thoughts and concepts also in a better way if you have a command over the language. So to a decent level, you have to go up to the decent level for that purpose. And that's why it's very, very important that we start giving importance to language and people should become serious about it.
Totally aligned to it, sir. And just adding one more point to what Ajay sir has said. When you improve your vocabulary, what happens? You have actually word limitation in the answer writing, right? So when you have better vocabulary, you'll be able to actually restrict your number of words into one word, right? So that's how you can actually express more by
Very
writing
true.
better words into
Correct.
it, right? So vocabulary does help, right? If you improve your vocabulary, it definitely pays off. So yeah, so Ajay sir, getting back to you. So this is next question is to you. Sir, do you also think that in online classes, the connection between students and teachers is not that strong as compared to offline classes?
Okay, now that's a tricky question because you see that there are advantages either side, right? A lot of students, they prefer doing classes because it's like they are more informal, relaxed. Now they can do their, have their own level of attention with respect to class. Sometimes you have the recorded classes also available. So it becomes easier there. But then there is a disadvantage also is in terms of attention and discipline. If you are attending offline classes, then there are certain advantages in terms of that you are more disciplined, you are attentive throughout, and at the same time, when a lot of students are asking questions in between, right? And you can listen to those questions also. And we know well that mostly we learn through these interactions, right? We get more dimensions when these questions are coming to us. And probably I think that happens more frequently in the offline class where the students get that, you know, even the opportunity to ask those questions and articulate also, and maybe they become more expressive as well. So that was, I think, offline class brings a lot of advantage in terms of you are building up your personality.
So Harpreet sir, would you like to counter that?
Are we debating this online versus offline?
Rightly, we should.
You want me to play the devil's advocate?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the disadvantages of online education?
No, advantages. Disadvantages, he has already
Okay.
told.
Now see, there's flexibility. Like for especially for the people who are working. Now they can access the recorded classes. Along with it, you will realize that we don't have those centers everywhere. Like people had to come to Delhi for that matter. Now they can be in any part of the country. That is the thing. Next thing is affordability. Now coming to, let us say, Delhi or some other place, it is not only the expense of the center or the coaching fees, along with it food, accommodation, and so many other expenses come.
And daily travel time.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing that we generally see is when people go to other places, that adaptability issues, isolation. We've seen certain issues like being alone further creates issues of anxiety and depression. They can be at home, they can prepare. Again, one has to keep the discipline intact, but you can definitely manage because you're getting quality content. You can write your answers at home also. You can upload, the facilities are there. So it depends on the student per se also, how disciplined the student is.
Yeah,
Like
but
there is
that's
no dearth
true.
of content. There is no dearth of quality educators. It is resting at the side of the student also.
Definitely.
How he manages.
So adding one more point to it, as you were saying, ki, interaction, right? So what we have seen in all offline classes, ki, they do not prompt in between. But in online classes, there is continuous interaction. They won't stop, right? They won't stop. They will always be commenting on whatever you are teaching, or maybe they are talking among themselves. And there is dedicated doubt panel where they place their doubt, and after the class or maybe between the class, you can have those doubts and dedicated discussion. So somewhere currently online platforms are catering that interaction as well.
Yeah, I think that's very true, and I agree to this as well. And of course, there are advantages, disadvantages either side. Offline students, maybe you know that there are questions, sequential questions coming up from students, and the only difference could be there that when you are addressing the questions online, the students are not connected among themselves. Yes. But in offline, it's like the entire there's an environment where the students are connected with each other.
Yes,
so there are sequential counter questions
just
also.
to add
That
There's
could be an
one more
advantage.
thing that has taken place, like PW has introduced the software Teacher X. So what generally happens is that, for example, let us say 500, 600 people are watching optional class or whatever with the class. There's an option, you just click it and they'll get a request of a video call. I use it as a deterrence. I said, I'm giving you this homework. I'm giving you 5 minutes, write an answer, and I'll start the video call. You have to show me the answer. So that deterrence is actually increasing the communication also. I use a technology that PW has given. So that is also a way you can make them study or make them write the answers, what is there.
Absolutely. So just one point, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, the thing is, like Harpreet sir already told, the advantage what I have felt is from my interactions again through the Telegram channel, for the first time I'm getting to know the true story of our own country. The remotest parts where, internet is still a luxury. And especially I feel online education, what we are not realizing is we are silently empowering the female population of our country.
True.
Many who are still living in the joint family setup, for them 5 a.m. when they wake up, the first thing that they do is they watch one of the recorded videos before they start cooking or cleaning. And again, before sleeping, 2 hours before that, again they watch our video. Second thing is, I have working professionals, doctors who literally called me, who literally asked me, sir, how should I go with my preparation? Because from morning till evening, I'm working in a government hospital, I'm seeing my patients. This is when I can watch the videos. And third, sadly, the physically challenged people, they are also, watching it. The only disadvantage, as far as I see it, sometimes while taking an online class is the spammers. Yes. Because it allows you, gives you that anonymity, you can ask anything that they want.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that is the only thing. Apart from that, I think, online together with offline has the potential to literally make education affordable to the entire population of this country.
Yes, right.
But again, the same point comes that discipline is required.
Yes,
Because ultimately, since schooling, until and unless the teacher is having that vigilance on you, a student is not studying. Now this is since childhood, a student is saying.
that self-motivation is required.
This is absolutely required.
And Ajay sir has rightly pointed out that environment, as you said, spammers, that environment ensures that there is no spamming in the offline classes. But online classes, we do have a lot of spammers, and a lot of time we have to block them and all. So this does happen. But still, I think the pros of the whole thing, precedes over the cons of the thing. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the next question, Ritesh sir again. Sir, as recently PW OnlyIAS has introduced AI grader for polity, economy and history, which is evaluation using AI technology. So how helpful can this be for our students?
Abhishek sir, I think that you are asking this question of AI because considering that I am Faculty of Science and Technology and I take classes on AI in my classes, right?
Right, sir.
So we all know that we are living in the age of AI and machine learning, and this AI grader is going to be one of the best thing that PW can give it to the aspirant, because once you start your preparatory journey, then there is a time when you start writing your answer, because one thing that UPSC will award marks for your expression, for your writing. Whatever you studied so far, you cannot show it all, right? You can show it a portion of it by writing best answer out of it. And writing best answer require a lot of practice. And for that practice, you need to have a mentor, a guide who can check your copy, who can guide you, who can correct something out of it. So there are two ways to do it. One is that you write an answer, then you submit it. It takes around 2 days, 1 day, 48 hours, 72 hours, you get back. And then you talk to the mentors and faculties, and then you get the feedback. So this is something that cannot be replaced. You know that human touch cannot be replaced. But I have seen many students who are coming after the class and they are saying that, no sir, I'm writing 3 answers daily. I'm writing 1 answer from GS, 1 answer from ethics, 1 answer from optional, but I'm not getting, I mean, all the answers checked on a right time, because sometimes they are in a, they are in a kind of not hurry,
Quick
but they are
feedback.
so motivated that they want to get it right there. So this AI grader would be something where you just submit it, and then this AI is going to check it. It will point out all the things in a generic basis, and then you will get it back. So it will be a kind of that you will get something, some guidelines to improve your answers. So you can go in a both ways. I mean, I'm not saying that AI is going to replace the human evaluation. That will be there, and that will be the prime most. But if you are writing 2 answers, 3 answers on a daily basis, then 1 or 2 answers you can put into the AI grader, and 1 answer you can give it to the faculty, and then you can use mix of both, and then it will help in your preparation.
Yes, it is more or less like reading from the model answer. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
So somebody is basically evaluating based on the model answer, ki this is correct.
And
or-
moreover, it's a machine learning. So more answer you submit, machine will learn more. And then in future, in your preparatory duration only, the machine or AI is going to evaluate in a more human way. Right. So that is a magic of AI that everybody should get benefit of.
And the students need to remember something, that there is always scope for improvement. There's no answer is perfect. They can always improve on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Abhishek
Thank you,
sir,
sir. Yes.
I want to interrupt you.
Yes, sir. Please.
But what Nikhil sir was saying, just now a student named Sarchana Sharma has mentioned, sir, I'm watching your video while making rotis.
This is
Now this is the same point Nikhil sir said.
Right, sir. Right.
So this is the difference.
So this
I
is
mean,
the
students are saying it right now.
pros of online classes.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, coming back. So next question is to Ayush sir. Can UPSC aspirants completely rely on YouTube for their preparation? Very tricky question, sir. Please.
Dichotomy, whether you should rely or not. Look, multiple things have been said by the panelists, and what sir said, that the adage that he used, that you drown in knowledge without wisdom, and that precisely what YouTube is. YouTube is it's a plethora of information, overload of information, which gives you so much information that eventually you end up getting confused. Now the problem is not information or knowledge or teachers or educators. The problem is credible information. The problem is trustworthy channels or trustworthy group of teachers, mentors, so institutions. So unless and until you actually can trust that particular channel or an institution, the preparation always remains incomplete. To the extent I would like to say, it also remains incorrect. You don't know whatever they are teaching, whether it is correct or not. One more thing is that at what time in your preparation are you watching a certain video? Probably the video was uploaded 2 years back, 3 years back. In my subject, economics, it's no longer relevant. It has to be relevant today, right? And for that, you need updated information. For that updated information, you need to connect the dots. Probably you have watched a video which was uploaded 2 years back. There has been a development which was done 2 months back. And accordingly, you have to correlate and you have to study it right now. All these things, like for example, our objective over here, it's not just to give knowledge in English, but it's to give credible knowledge, and that too what is relevant at that point in time. The problem that we are trying to solve. And this is a very big problem. Because you don't have to just focus on knowledge, you have to focus on credible knowledge by a trustworthy group of educators, and the timing of that knowledge should also be right. So to answer your question, yes and no. Both.
So like we had started Samagra batch. Maybe sir you are not aware of it. So we had started Samagra batch on PW OnlyIAS, and we were basically completing a lot of subjects, all the foundation subjects on this YouTube channel, the current YouTube channel, and we ensure that all the teachers who are teaching, they ensure that the content which is being delivered is basically the one which is required for the examination, to the point, crisp, and as per the requirement of the examination. So I think that is the whole intent over here. The new channel which is coming up, the whole intent is that we have to provide that credible information, the right information, to the point content to the learners, so as to ensure that their preparation for the UPSC CSE is very, very smooth. That is the whole intent right now which we are discussing today. Okay, so moving on. So we have one more doubt. So team, can we please have the doubt again? Siddharth sir, please take the doubt.
Sure.
Hello, I am a student of PW OnlyIAS Titan 2025 batch, and I have a concern that how do we cover current affairs, because it takes almost 2 to 3 hours of my day, as we have so many resources to cover it. We have government websites, we have newspapers. So I just want to know what is the best optimum way to cover current affairs, so that my preparation is in track and I'm well versed with the current happenings in the world.
Okay, now this one, I think it's a question which every student has in his or her mind. See Abhishek sir, current affairs is something which is equally important for all the subjects. You have to cover for all the subjects actually. And yes, it do take to some time of yours. At least what the student has mentioned, almost 2.5 hours is going in current affairs. I do agree, initially if you are doing your current affairs, reading your newspapers, then you are pen down those particular keywords, key points, it does take some time. But over the period of time, when you are doing it regularly, then yes, the time reduces. So initially, I do agree, you may face that issue, but truly speaking, what you can do is read the newspaper and trust your mind. See, from childhood or schooling days, we have this tendency to copy down everything so that I can have a very good quality notes and then one day I will revise it. But actually it doesn't happen, sir.
Correct.
You don't have that time that you are going to read those bulky notes of yours at the end of the day. It is not going to happen. So monthly magazines is the right answer, in my opinion, because the content will be very much structured, subject-wise manner, and it will be there. So you need not to copy everything from the newspaper, and sometimes a student feels that I will reciprocate the same line in the examination one day. This is something, the same judgment, the same thing I will copy one day in the exam. This question is I'm going to do it. But actually you can do it for judgments particularly, but you cannot do it for every editorial. And particularly, sir, editorial, hardly 2 to 3 key points you can mention in the answer. Related to agriculture, let us suppose, related to any other specific topic which is going in current affairs. So instead of doing daily copying of the newspaper in your copy, don't do that. It's waste of time. I think it's waste of time. What you can do is, you should read the newspaper daily, first point, and then there are weekly compilations. Maybe you can read those, or you can go for monthly compilations. So 2 ways you can go, weekly and then monthly. At the end, whatever which is there in monthly is going to be compiled in crisp manner at the end of the month also. So the same topics you will be reading again. First you will be reading it while you are reading the newspaper every day. Then you will be repeating it when you will be doing it in weekly. Don't copy it, and at the end you will have a compiled booklet, read it again. So you are trusting your mind, and in layers you are doing your preparation of current affairs. Let us suppose even if there are some 1 or 2 points which you feel that you can add those points, you can do it in monthly magazine later on.
Yes, true. And also I believe that monthly magazine covers a lot of sources. You'll not be able to, actually it is not possible to cover all those sources as a student, right? There is Scroll, there is Livemint, there is Hindu, Indian Express, there's PIB, so many sources. So it's not actually possible. As a student, it's not possible to cover.
Then student has mentioned about government websites. Yes. Now, how will you be able to decide which particular article you have to read from the government website?
Correct.
For example, defense. For defense, there is a website. There are so many articles on the defense related topics.
Yes.
So will you start from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the evening? You are going to read all the articles. It's wasted of time, sir. Government websites content should be used as a reference. Let us say you are studying something from your subjects, you want to revise it or understand the topic in more detail, or maybe you want to have a specific data from the government website, there you use them as reference. I should suggest that.
Yes,
That's my idea, sir.
Okay,
I think.
totally aligned, sir. And we have a current affair expert as well with us today.
That is
So,
true.
so I would request Harveer sir to add to this. And also the last question which I have for you is, sir, what according to you should be the time frame of covering current affairs for UPSC?
Okay, so now we need to understand something, that we need to balance the cost benefit, right? Some people say, ki, sir, shall we read 5 years current affairs? Is it manageable? No. I think ideal would be 1.5 years, 1 to 1.5 years. Now, please understand, as sir has already mentioned, this is a duration, but how you need to approach it, that is again important. As sir said, the current affair compilations that you get at the end of the month, that is a very important approach. Like what used to do is, like, the ideal length is generally 100 pages. So let us say the August month finishes, you're going to get the magazine in the month of September. I used to read, let us say, devote 1 hour. And in 1 hour, I used to read close to 10 pages, 7 pages. Let us assume within 10 days, you will be finishing that magazine. Again, 20 days are left. You can still read it and revise it also. But I always tell the students, see, if you do not read the newspaper, in that case, your comprehensive ability will not increase. The magazine helps you as a storehouse of information, which helps you to give all the aspects like pros, cons, obviously the other research that the team has done. But do not miss the newspaper. Because students in office very often say that we face problems when we are dealing with the CSAT paper. It is because they haven't read the newspapers. They haven't developed that comprehensive skill. So newspaper, again, very important. And ideal time frame is 1.5 years. And you can definitely do well in your paper.
Same point. I am not saying that you are going to skip the newspaper.
Yes.
Just because you are having the monthly magazine. Yes. I am saying that you have to read the newspaper daily, trust your mind, and then the compilation is already there. पूरे महीने का खाना एक साथ नहीं खा सकते सर हम, और तो धीरे-धीरे खाएंगे ना सर.
सबसे अच्छी चीज, the thing is that कि if you have read the newspapers, you already know the context when you're reading the monthly magazine. For example, the Bangladesh crisis is going on. If you know what is going on, when you read it from the current affair magazine, you already need to know the pros and cons. That is the thing.
So, sir, as far as I understand, I don't know if this is a surprise. Right. I understand that you are going to start the current affairs series on this channel, right? Yes. So, what is your approach? How you ensure that, there are various sources as we discussed. So, how you ensure that, all these sources are properly covered and delivered to the students? What is your current affairs strategy?
See, we have to decipher it in such a way, like, for example, there are major issues that come in the newspapers. Like, for example, recently, a topic of secular civil code was there. Firstly, it was like Prime Minister's speech on the 15th of August. Then we have an article on the 20th. Then again on the 29th. Then yesterday there was an article again. So like these issues are going on. We take up those issues, major issues that can come in the mains examination along with the preliminary examination also. Then there are minor issues. We'll take them. Then another strategy would be we'll be taking certain topics which can come in the preliminary examination. Not only we're not confining ourselves to one newspaper. We have to take it from the various newspapers. That is our task. And make the students understand what the major issues that you should be aware of. Again, we are there to guide them holistically in a comprehensive manner. Yeah.
Okay, great. I hope I had such a teacher while I was preparing for UPSC CSE. Okay,
I wish I also had a history teacher like you.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure is all mine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that was amazing discussion from with you all. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm very sure that this channel is going to be super helpful for all the learners who are going to prepare for UPSC CSE in English medium. I'm very sure that this will be helping our learners from South India, from Northeast, and all those who wanted to prepare in pure English medium. So this was all from our side today. So thanks a lot for watching. Thank you.
So much.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you all.